10,100 years in the past, a giant manifestation of evil called Calamity Ganon appeared above Hyrule Castle. But this isn't current-day Hyrule, where all you have to defend yourself are pot lids and pointy sticks. This is 10,100 years in the future. I mean the past. Back when the Hylians had futuristic light swords, giant robots, and tablets that could probably still download Flappy Bird. So Ganon immediately got mollywopped. 10,000 years go by and Ganon is ready and raring for Resurrection Round 2. The problem is, all of those uber powerful Sheikah weapons had been outlawed, so the current King of Hyrule ordered them to be reinstated, in preparation for the upcoming Ganon Smackdown. He also orders his daughter to stop enjoying life and train harder, because she's the next in line to inherit the typical Zelda sealing away Ganon powers. But she spends all of her time building robots. Like a nerd. It also doesn't help that her bodyguard Link easily mastered the powers of the Master Sword, the blade that does super effective damage against Ganon, and became the hero of courage, giving Zelda a bunch of pressure to succeed that ultimately keeps her from unlocking her true powers. By orders from King Daphnis, Zelda, Link, third wheel bodyguard Impa, and inventor of magical Wii U Purah, go on a journey across Hyrule in order to find 4 worthy champions that can pilot the 4 ancient giant robots called the Divine Beasts. There's Mipha, a Zora that was Link's childhood friend that fell in love with him upon seeing his nippleless body, basically filling out all the checkboxes of how not to get laid in a Zelda game. Urabosa, a Gerudo warrior chief whose town has outlawed any men from coming inside, so I'm not sure how they're, like, reproducing. Garuk, he eats rocks, I guess. There's really not a whole lot to his character. And Ravioli, the smug Rito archer that no one really wants around, but no one has the heart to ask him to leave. And so, everything was set in place for Ganon's resurrection party. One problem. No one considered that Ganon could, remember how he got wrecked last time, and upon his resurrection, he immediately possessed all of the advanced Sheikah technology with his evil magic, and used them to destroy Hyrule. Link gets 1v5'd by some possessed robots, while the champions get slain by Ganon's blight monsters. On the bright side, Zelda finally unlocks her powers. Could have been useful, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. Impa and the Sheikah take Link to a cryosleep chamber to heal from his wounds. They also strip him down to his undies. For plot reasons, I'm sure. Zelda goes to 1v1 Ganon, and ends up trapping them both inside of an egg sac thing inside of Hyrule Castle, until Link can recover from his injuries. 100 years pass, and Link's Zelda-themed alarm goes off, meaning that it's time for his nude butt to go save Hyrule. However, he lost all of his memories, and his hearts, and other pointy accessories, meaning that it's a long ways until he's ready to take on the giant demonic pig snake thing. So the ghost of the King of Hyrule sends him on a mission to prove his courage by entering ancient Sheikah temples and completing puzzles that range from just put the ball in the hole to there are 15 holes and 7 balls. Each row is associated with a constellation that has a set number of stars, and hey, don't just Google the answer, stop! To receive spiritual blessings from these emancipated old Sheikah, who I guess have just been chilling here for the past century, so that Link can gift their blessings to the goddess Hylia, in order to expand his hearts and hopefully have enough to not give himself a hernia while pulling out the Master Sword. He must also travel to the 4 corners of Hyrule, and clean up all of the evil monsters that are plaguing the Divine Beasts, so that the spirits of the dead champions can regain control and take aim at Ganon inside of his egg sac. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we just drop Vah Ruta on Hyrule Castle and call it a day? I'm just saying, I've played Age of Calamity. I know this thing is capable of way more than firing a small laser pointer. Along his journey, Link is helped by a whole lot of quirky and interesting personalities. There's Sidon, the Zora prince that gets shipped with Link even more so than his sister. Yunobo, Link's Goron friend that he uses as a living artillery to fire at the divine beast. Riju, a Gerudo princess who's a collector of vintage Sand Seal merch. What's his name? I think he had like 2 lines of dialogue in the entire game, who cares? Along with Impa, but she's now 100 years old. And Purah, but she's now 100 years old. Wait, hold on, I read that wrong. But she's now 5 years old. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Impa has a daughter now that's also into Link, because who isn't in this game? Sometimes when you check under a rock, you'll find a Korok, which is cool. Beetle is here. Oh! Well, Link fights Calamity Ganon, and with help from Zelda granting him light arrows, the two manage to seal him away. And Zelda is like, I have a feeling that he'll be back. Soon. Soon meaning the 6 years that it takes to release Breath of the Wild 2. An unspecified amount of years later, Ganon gloom starts leaking out from under Hyrule Castle. So our blonde baddies take a tour underground only to discover Ganondorf, who's been on a milk cart missing since 2006, and is the source of the gloom and the manifestation of Calamity Ganon itself. An amputated arm falls off of his body, dropping a magical cashew that Zelda pockets for her magical doodad collection. Ganondorf then awakens from his deep slumber and attacks our protagonist with his gloom, deleting Link's entire Breath of the Wild save data, and proceeds to unleash a massive amount of gloom, lifting chunks of Hyrule into the sky and causing the ground below them to crumble. As the two Hylians ragdoll into the abyss, Zelda suddenly disappears in a flash of light, and Link gets saved by an amputated arm which lifts him up into heaven. Awakening on a floating land above Hyrule, Link discovers that his arm has been replaced by the arm of a ghost furry god named Rauru, which lets him do everything that the Purapad let you do in the first game, but significantly better. Oh no, you can't make ice blocks anymore. Well, guess that bumps the game down to a 9.5 out of 10. With Raru's guidance, the two reach the Temple of Time, where Link places the damaged Master Sword, and it gets whisked away in a flash of light. Link then plummets down to the surface, landing in a pool of water that somehow doesn't break his neck, only to discover that on the surface the worst case scenario has happened, as all 800 Koroks have been scattered all around Hyrule once again, meaning all of Link's Korok hunting progress has been pointless. And the 4 major cities around Hyrule have massive and powerful evil creatures that are causing untold damage to the landscape and the people that are living there. Link's old buddies have changed as well. Impa finally retired at the age of 127 and spends her days looking for hieroglyphs, making Paya the new chief of Kakariko Village. Purah is not 6 anymore, but is also not 106 either, but an appropriate age for lonely dudes online to waifu her. Sidon has a fish wife ruining hundreds of yaoi fanfics. Yunobo is now the chief of Goron City, and has a sick wrestling mask that makes him act cooler for like a hot 5 minutes. Riju got a haircut and also doesn't really talk about sand seals anymore, so I guess she kinda grew out of that phase. And Teba got replaced by his son Tulin. But it was Teba, no one really cared about him anyways. Thankfully, Beetle is still around, and still rocking that slick bowl cut. At least some things never change. While Link is running around Hyrule doing everyone's errands, he comes across pools of dragon tears that Link can use his rewind powers on to recall time and get a glimpse into Hyrule's distant past. Distant past that unfortunately contradicts everything we thought about the Zelda timeline. So yay, another branch, why not? Long ago, Fursonian gods from the heavens called the Zonai descended onto Hyrule to start dating Hylian chicks. The Zonai possessed powerful cashews that would let the user unlock their full potential. For example, Rauru possessed the power of light, and his sister Mineru had the power to remove her soul from her body. And these secret stones could be gifted to others as well, like Raru's Hylian wife Sonia, who, with the secret stone in her possession, could manipulate time. With their powers, Rauru and Sonia became the first king and queen of Hyrule, and their mixture of genes would mean that Zelda has both the power of light and the manipulation of time, which is why she was able to teleport herself back 1,000 years after picking up Rauru's stone under Hyrule Castle. At this point in time, Ganondorf was a Gerudo king who wanted to take over Hyrule, but his army of scantily clad Gerudo ladies got washed every time. And he didn't have an OP stone, so he was no match for Rauru in a 1v1. So he schemed up a plan to feign fealty to King Rauru in order to steal away a secret stone for himself. Zelda is like, don't trust him, he's evil. And Rauru is like, yes, I realize that, but... Ganondorf then created a puppet clone that took the appearance of Zelda, and was able to trick Sonia and take her life along with her secret stone. With this newfound godly power, Ganondorf became the Demon King, and unleashed waves of monsters onto Hyrule. To combat Ganondorf, Rauru gifted stones to the 4 strongest warriors of Hyrule, who, alongside Mineru and Zelda, were dubbed the 6 Sages. However, their combined might wasn't enough to defeat the Demon King, and Rauru was forced to sacrifice himself, sealing Ganondorf under Hyrule Castle for 1,000 years. But Zelda knew that once those 1,000 years passed, Ganondorf would come back, significantly less hot, but with enough power to easily wreck Link, especially with him lacking the Master Sword. Thankfully, the Master Sword has the shonen protagonist ability to come back even stronger every time it gets destroyed. So, after learning from Mineru that swallowing a secret stone causes the person to become an immortal dragon that could live for thousands of years, Zelda tasked Rauru with guiding Link to the Temple of Time, where the broken Master Sword was sent back into her possession. Zelda then ate the forbidden snack and became a dragon, bathing the Master Sword in her healing light for 1,000 years, repairing it in preparation for Link's battle with Ganondorf. So yeah, Zelda became a dragon, and her tears formed the memory pools that Link visits throughout the story, which was definitely not on my bingo card going into Breath of the Wild 2. And also makes me feel guilty for hitting her a few times with a massive stone club. It's not my fault that her scales sell for hundreds of rupees on the black market. After defeating the boss monsters that guard the sages' temples, each of Link's 4 friends are visited by the sages of their respective lands, and gifted stylish stone accessories, becoming sages themselves, which lets them astral project by Link's side and grant him their sagely powers. But there ends up being so many of them on the screen at the same time, it becomes impossible to select the right hero at the opportune time. I can't tell you how many times I tried to pick up a bokoblin dropping and accidentally selected Riju's stupid lightning powers, making my whole screen turn yellow because they won't move out of the frickin' way! Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that alongside the sky, the land, and even the wells and caves if you want to count them, there's also an entire deep underground area to explore. So deep underground that the only light is Ganon's disgusting pus that cakes the entire floor. And if you're like me, you'll spend hours running into dimly lit walls while looking for Link's Ocarina of Time wig, not realizing that those 102 Bright Bloom seeds in your inventory are supposed to be used for this exact situation. It's also down here that you'll find Mineru's soul, sealed inside a robot, making her the 5th sage in your party because why not? There's not enough people following Link around already. After running out of side quests to do, Link finally decides that it's time to pull the Master Sword out of Zelda's head. And this time, the requirement is to have 5 extra stamina and not 5 extra hearts, which is convenient because the underground and all of its stupid cliffs made me realize how useful stamina was. So I was totally a stamina main this time around. With the sword that seals the darkness in hand, Link and the sages storm the abyss below Hyrule, on a mission to destroy Ganondorf for at least another 100 years, until he inevitably resurrects again. But that's another Link's problem. But suddenly, Ganondorf goes full on Bara mode, getting swole as heck, and Link and the Demon King have an epic battle, where I definitely didn't cheese him with bomb arrows, and somehow lucked into beating him with half of a heart. It was an epic battle, just believe me. Well, Ganondorf ain't about to get a sword through his skull like some other chumps, so he removes his secret stone and drops it down the hatch, as a last-ditch effort to defeat Link as a powerful dragon. While he thinks he has the upper hand, Ganondorf fails to realize that Link's girlfriend is also a mile-long powerful dragon. And with Zelda's help, Link is able to jump onto Ganon's body and destroy his bunions, causing him to explode into a comical mushroom cloud. The souls of Rauru and Sonia are then tasked with the most pivotal aspect of storytelling, tying up the loose ends right before the game ends, as they channel their light and time energy through Link, turning Zelda back into her old self and fixing Link's disgusting ghost arm. The two Hylians then plummet 1,000 miles per hour towards the surface. But oh wait, hold on, there's a small pool of water. Okay, they'll be fine. With Hyrule's bi-weekly world-threatening crisis now over, the sages swear to protect Zelda as the new queen of Hyrule, and Mineru passes on to the afterlife, marking the end of the Zonai. The end of the Zonai and the game. Well, I should probably address the elephant in the room, being that I haven't uploaded in over a year. Basically, I graduated from college and then took some time off to really study and practice art, because I realized that I love doing this, but I want to be faster at doing this, and not have 4-month gaps between uploads. And the reason why I have 4-month gaps between uploads is a combination of being slow at drawing, or I would finish a video and not like how it looked and just scrapped the whole thing entirely. But now I think I'm over the beginner artist learning curve. I don't think I'm amazing, but I've stabilized and can focus less on learning and more on putting out content at a steady pace, which for me would mean getting a video out every month. And hey, I've got a Splatoon 3 video that I've been working on that's already pretty close to completion, so hopefully y'all will watch that when it comes out within the next couple weeks. Well, I won't keep you too long. This is Breath of the Wild plus Tears of the Kingdom explained in 17 minutes, not 18 minutes. Thank you to everyone who's sticking with me even after this hiatus, and hopefully y'all will continue to watch my videos and I can make your day even a little bit better by saying something funny about a video game you like. Sounds like a deal, right? Thank you for watching and hopefully I'll see you next time.